Welcome to USTC360. I'm Neil Socante, and I'm really fortunate to be reporting to you from Tzu Chi US's headquarters in San Dimas, California. Today we are going to meet with several individuals and volunteers who decided to devote some of their time and efforts in spreading Master Jen Yan's Jing Si Aphorisms, or Still Thoughts Aphorisms. And this one book that I'm holding offers the Still Thoughts in English, Spanish, Japanese, and Chinese. Many volunteers here in the US decided to spread this book to main American audience. One idea was to place the books in hotels, one in every hotel room. And with the help of donors and volunteers' hard work, more than 100,000 of books were printed, and as of today, more than half of them, almost 60,000, were placed in hotel rooms in almost 700 different hotels. Two individuals who helped on this diffusion were Mark and Laurie, who have come a long way just to talk to us. So let's go meet them. Welcome, Laurie, and welcome, Mark, and thank you so much for being with us today. I know you came almost from the Mexican border, so it must have been a long drive.
It was 3 hours, and thank you very much for having us here.
Really appreciate it. So what's the story behind you being here today and wearing the Tzu Chi volunteer uniform?
Well, in the year 2012, September 23rd, the fire disaster took several homes in our local community in the backcountry. Because I was in the process of doing a fundraiser, I reached out to, first of all, the Red Cross. So they introduced me to the Tzu Chi Foundation.
And Mark, you were a firefighter for over 30 years. What was the main difference you saw from doing disaster relief before and now with Tzu Chi?
What got me really interested in the Tzu Chi is because they're there for the long-term help. I've been on many, many disasters, from earthquakes to wildfires to floods, riots, you name it. And what I saw in a lot of organizations, they were there during the initial startup of the disaster, but soon after the emergency was mitigated, they were gone. When I saw Tzu Chi, they're not there just to say, okay, the disaster's over, we're gone. They take a look at the long-term well-being of that community or those people.
So, Laurie, how did you start going to hotels to give out the Jing Si Aphorism book?
Well, I was introduced by Peggy, and she said, see if the motels where you live, because she knew that we had 2, but she did not know that there were 3. Actually 4. Knowing each of the owners, I asked if they would mind. One of the owners was on their way to Phoenix, Arizona. She read all the pages and absolutely fell in love with the book. And so she was instantly ready to have one placed in her motel. And the same thing with the others.
I also heard you two have a practice every morning. You read one aphorism.
I open the book to a new one each day, and I give thanks for the book. Before I go to bed at night, I reread the verse. What better way to go to bed with such wonderful words?
Mark, do you have one favorite aphorism?
To make vows without any action is like plowing a field and planting no seeds. There's nothing to reap, and there are missed opportunities. Really get out there and try to grasp a hold of those opportunities. And be careful what I do.
Yeah, that last one was one of my favorites as well. And thank you so much for being with us today.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And such as Mark and Laurie's difficulties and challenges while giving out the Jing Si Aphorism books, let's go see how volunteer Stéphane Liu overcomes hers.
But you know what? Yeah, but if you could pass to over here from you as soon as possible. Thank you very much. When is gonna be in the office?
Due to the differences in ethnicity and how there are so many salesmen around, the first impression that they may have is that we are trying to sell them something. When we tell them that we're a compassion relief organization, their second thought may be that we are there to ask for donations.
I was slightly uneasy about doing this. I didn't know what situations I might encounter during this assignment. Okay, make sure we all have our smiles on.
We will explain that we're not asking for donations. We're just hoping to give out this gift of love to everyone. Stephanie has her mind set on achieving our goal, and it doesn't matter if people act like an iceberg, a very tall and very tough iceberg. She's ready to melt them.
These books are absolutely free.
There was a period of time in the beginning where we couldn't give out any of our books. At the time, she pretended to be smiling, but you could tell that she was feeling a little down. So I held in my emotions. She's already discouraged. That in turn gave me the courage to cheer her up.
We once visited a hotel where we met a lady. I felt at the time that I had a big smile on my face. We had not spoken 2 sentences to her yet, when she firmly told me, with attitude, she wasn't interested. I felt my smile harden and crack piece by piece and fall down from my face. Now I have learned that my smile has to be softer. A lighter, more outreaching smile is needed.
She's a dentist. She adjusts her patients' appointments in order to fit them in with her hotel visiting schedule. I feel that she believes in Master's Dharma, the Bodhisattva Dharma. And because of her beliefs, she's willing to pass these words of Dharma wisdom onto other people. I remember that she had initially told us, no one will reject such good books and such good wisdom. That thought was also why it was such a disappointment when we were rejected.
I was a little nervous in the beginning because I thought of it as a sales exercise. Later on, we changed our mindset to think, this is a very good book, one with wisdom, and we just want to share the wisdom of our master with everyone. Thus, now we're taking the time to show everyone the contents of the book, which in turn increase people's acceptance of it. Since we have changed our methods, we are gradually doing better.
To know how to deal with every situation that arises. For me personally, I feel that I have become more flexible. Previously, I would sometimes take things for granted. I wouldn't dare do that now. When I encounter a situation, I ask myself, what can I do to improve?
Before, I treated the promotion as something I just needed to do. Now, however, I treat it as sharing with others something that is profound, words of wisdom, something I have used and found useful. That's my mindset now.
When a person first opens the book, he notices that there is nothing religious in it. However, the words in the book may touch him and apply to his everyday life. That's when they get the point, reflect and think, oh yeah, that's what I do too.
I really like this one. All worries in life flow from the 3 poisons: greed, malice, and ignorance. Shows you how not to be greedy. Shows you how they can poison your life. They can be very bad for you. It's a very good book.
The manager said, sure. At that moment, I had 100 questions in my mind. Can we, I thought. I saw him happily accept them and put the books in the hotel lobby as well as in the rooms. I thought, wow, this manager has a lot of wisdom. This is his good fortune, as well as the good fortune of the hotel customers.
Yeah, at first I thought they were selling something, yes, but no, turns out they are just trying to spread good wisdom. The books have a lot of wisdom in them and it's uplifting to people. Once I saw the book, I read a couple pages on it and it was very interesting to me. I like it a lot.
We made our desire, then our life becomes much more easier, right? Happier too.
Correct.
Yeah, I like this very much.
The books will help out a lot of people, spiritually, emotionally, with a lot of the readings that are in there. There'll be a lot of help to some people.
I'm now joined by Jessica Su and her son Christopher, and by Jack Banks, all volunteers and involved in the Jing Si Aphorisms book diffusion. And Jessica, in fact, you're almost an ambassador for that mission of one in every hotel room. How did you get that much into it, and how do you today help other volunteers to do it, not only in the field, but also online?
The project actually started in 2011 because we would really like to see the book distributed out throughout the country and put together a package that we can give it to the volunteers so they don't have to think too much, they don't have to worry too much, it won't become a burden to them. Also, what we did is to put together this website, share all the experience from all the volunteers, and we're getting great feedback from them.
And your son Christopher also helped in this distribution. What do you remember of this, going to hotels and helping the volunteers?
I went to 2 distribution trips. Some of the hotels didn't like the book because they didn't think that religious books should be in the hotel. But actually, the Jing Si Aphorism book is not religious, and some of the managers can tell it by actually reading it, and they actually like it.
Jessica, how did he help you sometimes, all the volunteers?
I remember one time that, because as we go out and do this project, we do encounter obstacles, not just from the people from the hotel side, but also from within the volunteer. And my moods goes up and down from that as well. So I will share that experience with him, and he would kind of tell me that distributing Jing Si Aphorism is the right thing to do, and it does help people. So he said that this is the right thing to do. You should go ahead and continue to do it.
I would tell my mom that it's the right path, and the right path will take her to a good place.
Anything you do, regardless, you're gonna encounter difficulties. It's the right thing to do. Then I have to overlook all the difficulty, and then continue to go head on. So.
Part of the mission was also to recruit more volunteers, and actually, Jack, you were one of them. You are a newborn Tzu Chi volunteer. How did you get involved?
I started watching Master Cheng Yan's videos, and I was very impressed. I saw what the Tzu Chi volunteers were doing, and I sort of felt a sense of shame because I always thought myself as a bodhisattva, but I wasn't really doing anything. And I saw the Tzu Chi volunteers, helping the poor, establishing free medical clinics. Wherever there was suffering, they seemed to be. So it almost seemed to be an organization that was too good to be true. So I started to contact people, and I actually ended up at a English orientation in San Jose, and that's where I met Jessica.
And how about the Jing Si Aphorism book?
I mean, one of the themes of Master Cheng Yan's philosophy is being able to give without condition. And so I bought a couple of books, and I started to giving them out to friends. Some of the reactions I had, I mean, everybody really received it well.
And in the mission of spreading out that book, is there one particular aspect that that interested you more?
Yes, when I met Jessica, she spoke about using the aphorisms to reach out into the prisons. And I thought as a newer member, that might be a good place to start. So Jessica was very generous in giving me a box of books. And the next thing I knew, I was visiting establishments in Nevada City and Grass Valley, and talking to the managers, owners about the book.
And that part of giving the books to inmates in prisons?
That struck a chord because I had been practicing another form of Buddhism, and a very good friend of mine spent most of his life in Texas jails. Prisons it can be a living hell. If you take the aphorisms and you start a dialogue with prisoners, I think you really have a chance at rehabilitation. Master Cheng Yan is so easy to talk about. I mean, I could talk about her for an hour if the person on the other end is receptive. Talking about her biography and her accomplishments, people are really interested.
Did that personally change you, your path?
I haven't really stopped my other Buddhist practice. In fact, I recently gave a leader in that Buddhist practice a Jing Si Aphorisms. And I thought he was going to be very negative, actually, but he was very positive, and he actually wanted to use some of the aphorisms at his next discussion meeting.
Within the aphorisms, is there one that you like more among others?
Well, the first one, which became a mantra for me, was speak kind words, think good thoughts, do good deeds, and find the right path.
How about you? Is there one aphorism you would like to share?
Yes, every time I go out, I use page 56. It says, if we can reduce our desires, there's nothing really worth getting upset about. I use this a lot with the hotels because it seems like they can acknowledge this really easily because we all have a lot of desires, and most of the time that's what gets us into trouble, too much desires.
Well, good luck with everything on that mission.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being with us, Christopher, Jessica, and Jack. It was a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
And let's go now meet with Yuki, who owns a beauty salon where not only she follows the aphorisms teaching on her daily life, but also try to share them with customers.
I thought that since everyone was promoting Jing Si Aphorisms, and there are a lot of people coming in and out of my shop, why not buy some books and leave them as gifts in my shop?
Working in a hair salon, she has limited time to volunteer, but she is so mindful in sharing Master's teachings with her customers at work. She doesn't push people, but instead allows her customers to get used to it and approach Master's teachings very naturally. After a few times, we even saw a few of her customers helping to promote the books too.
I have been here about like 3 years. I like her a lot. The book is she gave it to me. I read one. It's really good book, and then I read this. It's good. Like speak kind words, think good thought, do good deeds, and walk the right path. I think that one is, if we use in your real life, it's gonna make you like your life is gonna get better.
To promote the Jing Si Aphorisms, Yuki has posted them as well as other Tzu Chi information in various corners around her hair salon. The TV in the salon also shows the ITV.
Every time I go into her hair salon, she always mentions Tzu Chi. She also plays the ITV for me. I feel her passion for it.
I
used to read the Jing Si Aphorism book every night before I slept. I still remember some of the master's quotes.
After Yuki reintroduced them to her, Betty brought these books back to her hotel, the Anna Mesa.
My manager is from Sri Lanka. I told him this is a religious group, a Buddhist foundation, and they gave me a book today. He flipped through a few pages, and he liked it a lot, so he immediately accepted them. I already knew the content of the books.
When we treat others with loving kindness, we will not stir up ill feelings. There are a lot of meaningful things in here. See the different angles of different religions, I guess.
After getting approval from the manager, Yuki and the other Tzu Chi volunteers delivered them on July 25th, 2013. The owner, Betty, also shared with us her favorite Jing Si aphorism.
Know your blessings, cherish them, and spread more blessings. I've always felt that my life has gone smoothly, so I always encourage people to cherish their blessings.
Because of the campaign to deliver Jing Si aphorisms to hotels, Betty has cherished her blessings and has sown more. This cycle of kindness helped housekeeping staff member Sarah find joy in her life. She read the aphorisms as she cleaned one of the rooms.
And everything wrong, one book.
Con los demás por miedo de nuestra expresión del rostro y del tono de nuestra voz. Sonríe, habla con voz suavemente, una actitud apacible.
Despite differences in ethnicity and religion, the Jing Si aphorisms in 4 languages have crossed national borders and reached the hearts of everyone.
I think some guests are already taken some of them with them. I said, if you really want it, take it. Yeah.
From the hair salon to the hotel, Yuki has done the most that she can with her limited work environment. Her favorite Jing Si aphorism is, be content, thankful, understanding, and forgiving.
I've known about the Tzu Chi Foundation for a long time. I used to be a part of it, but then I got busy and there were other religious groups that I went to. So I lost touch with Tzu Chi for a while. This project gave me a chance to find my way back to Tzu Chi.
The biggest credit goes to our Tzu Chi volunteers. Because of their action, many people saw what Tzu Chi is doing and that all of our volunteers are very dedicated. Whenever we tell them that they should join Tzu Chi, they all say that Tzu Chi is a good organization. Because the volunteers before us did so well, newer volunteers like us have an easy job promoting it.
We also wanted to honor Reverend Bonnie Polly. Bonnie is a full-time chaplain at Las Vegas Police Department. Every day she visits inmates in Las Vegas. The media have said about her that she is in a prison doing God's work. Since 2001, she has been sharing the Jing Si Aphorisms with prisoners. And after she gave the Jing Si Aphorism books to inmates in Las Vegas this year, Tzu Chi USA headquarters received letters from some inmates, sometimes condemned with death sentences. We wanted to share some of them with you.
I am a Jew by blood and by faith. However, after reading aphorisms by Jing Si, I am very interested in Tzu Chi Buddhism. I want to learn more about Tzu Chi Buddhism. I have been in prison for 10 years and I get out in 1 year. And I would like to visit your place along with my wife and children to learn more upon my release, if that is okay. Thank you for your time. Respectfully.
Audrey, I just wanted to thank you for the reading materials you sent me. It really means a lot, and I would like to be sure that you know that I appreciate you and the work you are doing. You are an invaluable resource and friend, as there is very little access to any form of spiritual or cognitive literature in the Nevada Department of Correction. If possible, I would like information on how I could go about donating to the foundation. I'm not wealthy, but I do have some money I could contribute, and I would really like to give back if possible.
Personally, I wanted to leave you with one aphorism, as we met with really dedicated individuals who made a vow for action. Making vows without taking any action is like plowing a field without planting any seeds. So there is no harvest to reap. This is letting opportunity pass us by. Don't let the opportunity pass by. I'm Neil Sukant from San Dimas, California. And next week in our show, my teammate Dilber will give you a really special tour of our US headquarters here as we are celebrating Tzu Chi USA's 24th anniversary. So stay tuned with us and see you soon.